I almost canceled my flight before going to Cape Town because I was just so afraid. Cape Town is called one of the most dangerous cities in the world. Hi everyone, my name is Mondy and I wanted to talk you through my travel to Cape Town today. So before that, I wanted to give you a little history about Cape Town and how it is today, why it looks like this today. Cape Town is called the Mother City because it was the first European settlement in South Africa, found in 1652 as a stopover for ships traveling between Europe and Asia. From here, colonial expansion spread inland, shaping much of the country's early history. But this story didn't begin with colonization. Long before that, the land was home to coastline communities whose presence is often left out of the narrative. To understand Cape Town today, you have to understand how it is designed. So, during the apartheid era, thousands of people were forcibly moved to the outskirts, and that created the very poor society nowadays. And in the middle, what was left was the kind of high society and the white people there. So this is also the bubble that is known for the beautiful, the lifestyle that is very worth living for travelers and digital nomads. I did come to Cape Town because the life just seemed so beautiful, and also the time zone is the same as in Europe, so it's very comfortable for European workers to work there. Also, the cost of living is comparably low to what we know here in Europe. Beyond the history, it's the lifestyle that keeps people here. So I feel Cape Town is so worth living. They have a very big coffee culture. The people are creative, they have drive, they're ambitious, and I feel like you really can live your 5 to 9 before your 9 to 5 in Cape Town because people are so active. They just love life and the nature. They go on a hike, on a run, or on a cold plunge just before their work. And this very rarely happens in Germany, I feel. I did a cold plunge once, got out at 7 a.m. in the morning, and I saw that so many people were having a run already. So that really inspired me and showed me that the quality of life of the privileged people is so much better. And also the supermarkets are a mirror of the society. So I feel like people are very into healthy, clean foods and just unprocessed whole foods. The supermarkets are completely filled with those organic foods, and that's what I really love. So now the question, is Cape Town safe, especially for solo travelers or female solo travelers? I must say I talked with a lot of locals here, and they always warned me that it could be very dangerous, and also they reminded me that I should not leave my house when it's getting dark or walk home when it's getting dark. So I really listened to them, and I must say there was never happening something to me. But I was very conscious about it and really took care of myself. So if you're going to Cape Town, you really should not be naive. Stick to the rules, what people tell you. So never go outside when it's getting dark or walk in rural areas. And yeah, I'm a girl that when I travel, I walk quite a lot. I really like to discover the city by my feet and just exploring the city. But in Cape Town, I was really afraid. I mean, walked from a very social area where it all seemed like people are living greatly and privileged, and just a few meters further, people were just living in garbage. I just completely felt the contrast between people here. Where I recommend to live is definitely Sea Point. That was my number one, and I had my first accommodation there. And then, yeah, I had a bit of a switch because I like to discover new accommodations and change up my scenery a bit. Then I moved to Gardens and to the Vatican, which everything is very central and safe. And then I noticed that Sea Point is quite the area that was the best, so I moved back to Sea Point. So I highly recommend Sea Point. There are a lot of cafes, you're right by the sea, basically gives you everything you need. If I had the chance, I would have loved to live in Camps Bay or Clifton. These are the more luxurious areas, and the rents there are quite high, so you really need to book beforehand or just have a lot of luck to find an affordable apartment there. About the logistics, you don't need cash at all in Cape Town, so everything is cardless and you can just tap with your phone everywhere you go. So I definitely didn't need to withdraw any cash there or exchange some money. I thought that I at least needed like maybe 50 euros or something, but I actually never needed that. It was just only one situation where I bought a magnet for a friend, which costed me 2 euros, and I didn't have any rents. In the end, I just paid by card and paid a bit more, but I think it's very convenient there. When it comes to mobile data, I would not recommend buying at the airport directly. They charge you extra fees for tourists and they definitely charge you more. What I did was I just booked my Uber right at the airport and drove to the city with the Wi-Fi connection of the airport, and then immediately went to a kiosk to buy a SIM card. They directly registered me. They need your passport to identify you. So it's very convenient, and within 10 minutes or something the card got activated. I think I paid around 8 euros for 10 gigabytes, so it's kind of affordable. But nowadays there are also a lot of eSIMs that you can download and activate yourself beforehand if you feel you need data the minute you arrive in Cape Town. About mobility, it's recommended to use Uber for every drive, but I actually noticed that there is Bolt, which is like up to 30% more affordable. I know I had friends and locals tell me that I should always use Uber because it's the safest, but also other friends that told me nowadays Uber is also not the safest anymore. And me, as a very financially savvy girl, I just stick to Bolt because anyhow, if both are not safe, then I would rather choose the ones that is more affordable. So you can use both. There's also public transfer called myCiti bus. You can just buy a card. You have to load it with some credits at a kiosk or a central station. You can just ride the bus, which is going around the coast and specific areas, not everywhere around the city. But if you want to try out the local public transport, I can definitely also recommend that. It's quite safe to ride that as well, and it's so affordable there. So each ride only costs like 1 to 2 euros. Now, budgeting. That's very subjective because everyone's spending habit is very different. For me, I must say, I'm very conscious with my money. So in total, I only spend, I think, around 2,600 euros. My living costs was the highest with 40% of my expenses. Then mobility, which includes the flight tickets and the car hailing services I used, that counted up to 30%. And for eating out, for restaurants, bars, and also groceries, I spent 20%. Then we have shopping and activities. Shopping for me was 8% and activities 2% of my whole expenses. So it really depends on what you value more and what you want to spend your money on. And then I have a little guide for some local tips and also friends that showed me places that I visited, even visited twice. So I'm just gonna blend in an overview and maybe some pictures here so you can have a little overview of the places that I like.